Going on, guys? How y'all doing? Me myself, I'm still a little sick, but at least I can make a video again. So whenever I watched this face-off yesterday, there's really not that much of a height difference like I thought there would be between JoJo and Devin Haney. Now, if you look at the top of Devin Haney's head, it's way higher than JoJo's, but that's not what I'm looking at. Look at where their noses, their lips, their chin, their eyes are. Really, truthfully, Devin's just got a bigger head than JoJo. But if you look at where their eyes are, they're damn near equal. It almost looks like maybe an inch difference, which is not what I was thinking it would be. So I'm going to say this about this fight. I've been too sick over the last couple of days to really analyze JoJo, analyze Devin. Even though I've seen them both fight a lot, I still just haven't had the time to do what I normally do to match them up well in my head. This goes as well for the Tank fight as well, which I'm going to make a video later today about that. But I will say this going into this fight. On paper, people would say that this is an easy fight for Devin Haney, but I don't believe it is. I think JoJo Diaz does very well against guys who are back foot fighters. You can look to his, not his last fight, but the last fight he had against a really good back foot fighter without a lot of power, Devin Farmer. Look at how he fought Tevin. Look at how he stayed on top of Tevin. Haney's kind of the same way. Now, to me, what causes JoJo a lot of issues is a pressure fighter who comes forward with a lot of barrages. Now, we saw Devin Haney do that against Linares, just overwhelm him with shots. They weren't powerful, but it was just too many for Linares to get off anything. And you can look back, I believe it was about 3, maybe 4 years ago, whenever JoJo Diaz fought Gary Russell Jr. That you could see that Gary Russell was really causing him issues with the barrages. However, JoJo started to adapt to it and made it a close, tight fight. And we're talking about a guy in Gary Russell who I believe hits a lot harder than Devin Haney. A lot harder. And I think his hands are a lot faster as well. So, again, I know people think this is going to be a walk in the park, and it very well may be. I just don't think it is. I think this is going to be a very hard fight for Devin as it progresses. I think maybe the first round or 2, maybe 3, you can see Devin skate and win those rounds early. But I think JoJo Diaz is going to start to cut off that ring, and he's extremely good at it. And that's really what he has to do. That's the only way he has a chance. He can't beat Devin from range. He's got to get close, and he's got to cut off the ring, and he's got to make it a dog fight in the pocket. Oh, yeah, let me say this before I go any deeper. Hit a thumbs up, sub, and notification bell. That way you get updated when I drop the newest content like this. With that being said, let's get into the video. But, yeah, trying to think what else to say while I'm still not feeling good and trying to hold back these coughs. What I see from this fight is Devin needs to stay on the back foot and outbox JoJo. He does not need to get in the pocket and fight him. Now, there is the possibility that JoJo just doesn't hit hard enough at this weight class to hurt Devin Haney, even though some people claim that Devin has a glass jaw, which I don't think he does at all. I think he has a pretty good chin. It's just that I don't think he knows how to react when he's hurt. So here's the difference. Teofimo Lopez got dropped. Ryan Garcia got dropped. Devin Haney got stunned, okay? But when you look at Teo, when you look at Ryan Garcia, they really did everything they could do to stay away from damage and not get hurt. So their defensive mind was a lot better. Whenever Devin got hurt, he did not go down, which shows he has a good chin. But he literally at one point in time just came across the ring with his arms open looking for a hug. And against a guy at the top that's not looking for a one shot, he'll piece somebody up like that coming in with no guard. So that to me is Devin's biggest flaw. If he gets hurt, he doesn't look like he knows what to do or how to protect himself. And if somebody's full game and full of energy, they'll exploit it. And it could possibly put him down and knock him out if he comes like that again. But it was the first time he was ever hurt as well. So we'll have to see if he gets hurt against JoJo, how his defense has improved after he's hurt. That's what I see. So, again, I think Devin needs to stay at range. He doesn't need a risk coming in fighting in a dogfight because JoJo is very good at combinations. He's very good at putting things together. And to be honest with y'all, if this was JoJo Diaz's natural weight, I would favor JoJo Diaz in this fight because of the way that he fights and how good he is against back-footed fighters without a lot of power. However, since this is his third weight class he's moved up to, I'm not so sure that he can hurt Devin Haney. If he can hurt Devin Haney and he can take the shots very well, then Haney's in for a long night. If it just doesn't look like he has enough pop because he's too outsized, especially against Haney, who's a bigger 135-pound fighter, a much bigger 135-pound fighter as far as weight goes, mass, I don't know if he can do it. But if he can, like I said, it's going to be a very, 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 very long night for Devin Haney because JoJo is extremely good. People are sleeping on how good he is. For Devin Haney, if JoJo is too small, too weak, then he's going to have an easy night in the office and just piece him apart. Like, he's just going to pick him apart with ease. That's just, it could either be very competitive or it's going to be very one-sided. But if it's very one-sided, I think it's going to be one-sided for Haney and not JoJo. If JoJo is competitive, then I think it's going to be a hard fight for both guys. Like I said, I'm not doing predictions for this fight or the Tank fight because, first off, I've never even seen Cruz fight at all, not once. And I'm not saying I'm sleeping on him because a lot of people felt the same way about Kambosos. Nobody had seen him fight. I mean, I had saw him fight because I saw him on the Usyk undercard, and then I went back and watched a lot of his fights. But with Cruz, I've just been too sick to go look at it. So for that breakdown, I would be ill-equipped to do a breakdown, and it would just be going off of hearing what other people say, and I never do that. So, again, for this fight, I think it's going to go one of two ways. It's going to be a very easy night for Devin Haney, or it's going to either be a very long night for Devin Haney, and if JoJo can hurt him, JoJo can definitely beat him. I truly believe JoJo Diaz can beat him, because he's just so good against back-footed fighters. And going one other fight to talk about before I close this out. If JoJo beats Devin Haney, I think that's a harder fight for Kambosos because Kambosos kind of falls into the same camp as the Devin Haney. He's even though he came forward against Teo a lot, he's still best versed at being a back-footed fighter. He's got good pop, but not a whole lot of pop. What I mean by a lot of pop is like that one-shot devastating knockout popper. I think Kambosos hits harder than Devin Haney, but I don't know if he hits hard enough to truly get the respect of a guy like JoJo Diaz. And I think JoJo poses stylistically more of a threat to Kambosos than Devin Haney does, because with Kambosos and Devin Haney, it's just going to be who's the best sharpshooter, who's best from range, who can outmaneuver the other guy, who can outspeed the other guy. And considering that both guys are extremely fast visually with the eye test, I don't know which one's faster than the other. I think they're very close, but we won't know till they get into the ring and face off. But with seeing them in each one of their fights, I would say that they're pretty equivalent. So I think they can hit each other just as much as the other. And I don't think either guy could play keep away. But I could be wrong. Kambosos could be way faster than Haney, or Haney could be way faster than Kambosos. But again, I just think stylistically, Devin Haney makes for an easier fight for Kambosos than JoJo Diaz does. So JoJo may be the guy that just messes this whole thing up and walks off into the sunset, 3-division champion, undisputed. So it's a possibility. And you got to keep in mind, too, even though I said JoJo started at the lower weight classes, he has missed weight. So although he is short, he's pretty stocky built for his height. So again, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I think I've rambled on long enough. I think I've dropped enough plates in the background that y'all heard clanking. And y'all have a good day. Thank y'all for watching.